business was I grew up in Los Angeles, and I was studying business in college and never done a school play or anything.
Tom Selleck, the man whose mustache, charm, and commanding presence made him an icon of Hollywood for decades, has long been a household name. From Magnum PI to countless films and guest appearances, Selleck captured the hearts of millions. Yet behind that familiar grin and suave image lies a story that few truly know, a side of Tom that is both surprising and deeply human. For years, fans assumed that his life had followed a smooth trajectory of fame, fortune, and personal happiness. But the reality was far more complex. While Tom became the symbol of cool confidence on screen, off-screen he faced challenges that tested his resilience, his family, and his very sense of self. There were career choices that didn't pan out, personal struggles hidden from the public eye, and moments of heartbreak that even his closest fans never witnessed. Now, in his later years, Tom Selleck has begun to reveal details about the twists and turns of his life, the struggles behind the fame, the sacrifices he made for his family, and the moments that could have broken him, but didn't. What he shares is more than a Hollywood story. It's a reminder that even those who seem untouchable carry unseen burdens. This is not just a tale of celebrity. It's a story of perseverance, love, and resilience. For the first time, Tom opens up about the challenges, regrets, and triumphs that shaped him into the man we think we know, and some we didn't. Because behind every iconic role, every confident smile, and every unforgettable performance, there's a story few have heard until now. Long before Tom Selleck became a television icon, he was a young man from Detroit with a quiet determination and a natural charm that set him apart. Born in 1945, Tom grew up in a family that valued hard work, responsibility, and integrity. While he was never destined for an easy path, he carried a resilience and sense of humor that would define him both on and off the screen. Tom's early years were marked by a mix of discipline and discovery. He wasn't a child star, nor did he have connections in Hollywood. Instead, he discovered his love for acting in college, performing in small theater productions while juggling odd jobs to support himself. It was a period of experimentation, of testing boundaries, and of learning that perseverance often mattered more than talent alone. After college, Tom moved to Los Angeles with nothing more than a suitcase, a head full of dreams, and a determination to make it as an actor. The early years were far from glamorous. He endured rejection after rejection, auditioning for countless roles only to hear the dreaded words, "Not right for this part." It was during this time that he realized something crucial, that success in Hollywood was not just about skill, but about timing, persistence, and a touch of luck. His big break came in the late 1970s when he landed the role of private investigator Thomas Magnum in Magnum. PI, overnight, Tom Selleck became a household name. The show's mix of action, drama, and humor made it an instant hit. And Tom's portrayal of Magnum, confident, witty, and undeniably charming, cemented his status as one of television's most beloved actors. Yet, fame brought challenges that no script could prepare him for. Suddenly, every move was scrutinized. Tabloids speculated about his personal life, while fans projected ideals onto the man behind the character. Tom, who had always valued his privacy, had to learn how to navigate public attention without losing himself. Despite the pressures, Tom remained grounded. He often spoke about the importance of family, loyalty, and living with integrity. His commitment to these principles sometimes meant making career choices that prioritized personal values over fame, a decision that cost him certain opportunities but ultimately defined the kind of man he was. Off camera, Tom also faced moments of heartbreak that few ever saw. Relationships ended, friendships were tested, and the relentless pace of Hollywood often left him feeling isolated. But he never allowed these struggles to overshadow his dedication to his craft or his love for the people who mattered most. Tom Selleck's story is one of patience and resilience. He transformed rejection into motivation, setbacks into lessons, and fame into a platform for authenticity. And while the world remembers him for his iconic roles, the man behind the mustache has lived a life of quiet courage, navigating challenges that would have humbled even the strongest personalities. What many didn't see, and what Tom is now, willing to share, is that behind the on-screen charm and heroic persona lies a journey shaped by perseverance, heartbreak, and an unyielding commitment to living life on his own terms. After Magnum, P.I. became a massive hit. Tom Selleck found himself thrust into a world of fame and scrutiny that few could handle. On one hand, he had achieved the dream of countless aspiring actors: recognition, admiration, and financial stability. On the other hand, the very success that elevated him brought pressures he had never anticipated. Suddenly, every decision, every appearance, and every rumor was magnified, and the man who had once valued privacy had to navigate life under a microscope. Tom's personal life, which he had carefully shielded from the public, began to attract attention. He faced challenges in balancing his career with his family life. He had always believed in putting family first, but Hollywood often demanded otherwise. Long hours on set, promotional tours, and public expectations created tensions that weighed heavily on him. The world saw the charming, confident actor, but few saw the sacrifices he made behind the scenes, the missed birthdays, the quiet frustrations, and the moments of self-doubt that haunted him during the long nights away from home. Compounding these pressures was the lingering effect of past disappointments. Early in his career, Tom had been rejected countless times, and while he had persevered, the memories of those setbacks never fully faded. He carried a quiet humility with him, a recognition that fame could be fleeting, and that the adoration of millions didn't always equate to fulfillment or inner peace. Amidst these challenges, Tom also faced professional setbacks. Though he was a household name, he struggled to find roles that allowed him to grow as an actor beyond the persona of Thomas Magnum. Studios were hesitant to cast him in dramatic or unconventional roles, fearing audiences could not see him outside the leather jacket and Hawaiian shirts. The typecasting threatened to confine his talent, and Tom had to fight not just for roles, but for the opportunity to prove his versatility. Yet, even in these difficult moments, Tom exhibited resilience. He began exploring new avenues in television and film, selecting projects that challenged him creatively. He also found joy in mentoring young actors and sharing his experiences, lessons learned from years of navigating both triumphs and disappointments. Through it all, he remained committed to his personal values, refusing to compromise his integrity for fleeting fame. Tom's later years brought unexpected heartbreak as well. The pressures of Hollywood, coupled with personal challenges, created moments of loneliness that no public accolade could fix. He often reflected on the cost of fame, how it could isolate even the most charismatic and admired individuals. Yet he never allowed despair to define him. Instead, he channeled his experiences into empathy, generosity, and dedication to his craft, proving that resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about rising each time life pushes you down. What many fans didn't see was that Tom Selleck's life, despite the glamour, had been shaped by unseen battles, struggles with career setbacks, the isolation of fame, and the delicate balancing act of personal happiness and professional success. These challenges, however, did not break him. They shaped him into a man capable of wisdom, patience, and authenticity, qualities that continue to define him today. In revealing these experiences, Tom's story becomes more than a Hollywood tale. It is a testament to perseverance, humility, and the courage to remain true to oneself in a world that constantly seeks to define you. As Tom Selleck moved into the later stages of his career, he began to reflect more openly on the personal and professional challenges that had defined his life. The public had long associated him with the confident, charming Thomas Magnum, but behind the fame, Tom had endured years of struggles that few truly understood. The very persona that brought him success also created obstacles, both in how he was perceived and in the opportunities offered to him. Even after Magnum, P.I. ended, Hollywood didn't immediately embrace him with open arms. Casting directors often saw him as the same character he had played for nearly a decade, making it difficult for him to land roles that allowed him to explore his full range. For an actor of his talent, this typecasting could have been discouraging. Yet Tom refused to let it define him. He deliberately chose projects that challenged him, often turning down opportunities that might have brought fame but compromised his artistic integrity. Off-screen, Tom faced personal trials as well. Maintaining a family life while navigating the demands of Hollywood was not easy. He had always prioritized his relationships, but the long hours and constant travel required by the industry tested even his patience. He often spoke about the quiet sacrifices he made, the birthdays missed, and the moments when he had to step back from his career to support those he loved. These weren't stories for the tabloids. They were private struggles that revealed the depth of his character and the values that guided his life. Tom also experienced periods of loneliness and self-doubt. Fame may have brought admiration, but it did not erase the isolation that sometimes comes with being in the public eye. Yet he transformed these moments of struggle into strength. He became a mentor, a friend, and an advocate, using his experiences to guide younger actors navigating the often harsh realities of the entertainment industry. In doing so, he found a purpose that transcended awards and box office success. His later career proved that resilience and persistence pay off. Guest roles on acclaimed shows, voice acting in beloved films, and continued appearances in both television and cinema allowed him to showcase versatility far beyond the confines of the Magnum persona. Audiences came to see not just a character, but a man with depth, warmth, and authenticity, qualities cultivated through decades of navigating both triumphs and heartbreaks. Even now, at this stage in life, Tom reflects on the lessons learned from his journey. Fame, he has realized, is fleeting, but integrity, perseverance, and connection with loved ones are lasting. He openly shares the realities behind the glamour, speaking candidly about the sacrifices, setbacks, and moments of despair that helped shape him. His story is a reminder that even those who seem untouchable have faced their own battles, and that true strength is measured not by the accolades received, but by the courage to persist. What many people never saw was the man behind the mustache, someone who faced rejection, loneliness, and uncertainty with quiet determination, a man who turned struggles into wisdom, setbacks into lessons, and public admiration into a platform for authenticity. Tom Selleck's story is as much about perseverance and humanity as it is about fame. Now, as Tom Selleck reflects on his life and career, the true measure of his story comes into focus. The world remembers him as Thomas Magnum, the quintessential cool detective with the iconic mustache, the Hawaiian shirts, and the easy charm. But behind the screen persona is a man who has weathered the highs and lows of fame, navigated personal trials, and faced challenges that few could imagine. Despite the glitz of Hollywood, Tom never let success dictate his values. He remained committed to his family, prioritizing love and loyalty above the pressures of the industry. The sacrifices he made, the late nights on set, the long hours away from home, the personal struggles he endured privately reveal a man whose life was shaped as much by integrity as by talent. Even in moments of heartbreak, Tom's resilience has been remarkable. He faced periods of professional uncertainty when roles were scarce, battled the limitations of typecasting, and endured the loneliness that often accompanies a life in the public eye. Yet each obstacle strengthened him, shaping a perspective that combines humility, gratitude, and quiet determination. Tom also embraced opportunities to give back. He mentored aspiring actors, offered guidance to those struggling with the pressures of the industry, and used his visibility to inspire younger generations. His efforts went beyond entertainment. They reflected a deeper understanding that the impact of one's life is measured not just by fame, but by the positive influence one leaves behind. His later roles showcased the depth he had cultivated over decades, performances that revealed vulnerability, wisdom, and humor far beyond the persona of the Fonz. Audiences came to appreciate the man behind the legend, a human being who had faced rejection, battled self-doubt, and persevered with grace. At 80, Tom Selleck's story is no longer just about television or movies. It's a story of resilience, character, and quiet triumph. The iconic smiles, the witty quips, and the legendary presence on screen were all expressions of a man who refused to be defined by setbacks, and who found strength in love, family, and purpose. What many never realized is that his life, like his characters, is layered, a balance of charm and struggle, of fame and hardship, of public success and private perseverance. Through it all, Tom remained true to himself, proving that even in a world obsessed with appearances, authenticity endures. Today, the world sees the legend, but Tom Selleck's journey reminds us of the man behind the fame, someone who has lived fully, faced adversity head-on, and emerged not just as an icon of Hollywood, but as an enduring example of courage, resilience, and heart. Because behind every smile, every "Aye!" or in Tom's case, every unforgettable role, lies a story of perseverance, sacrifice, and triumph that continues to inspire audiences across generations.